Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of Victory IS. As you already know that we are talking about the current affairs developments that were seen with respect to environment and ecology in the past 2-3 years. So here I am with another topic which is related to waste management. In the last topic we talked about specifically waste called plastic waste. Today I am going to take up a broader topic, waste management, and let's see what all were the news related to this. There were a number of small news that could be asked in the prelims examination 2026. So let's begin with those topics. So first one is pertains to Swachh Sarvekshan 2022. Although it is a report of 2022, but 2025 has also been released. We'll take up those facts sometimes later. More important than the observation of this Sarvekshan are certain things that you should remember for the prelims examination. For example, the first thing that it is an annual survey. The survey is an annual survey released every year, and this is released by the ministry called Ministry of Urban Affairs. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs is the nodal ministry that takes care of this survey. So basically this survey is conducted across the cities and towns of India falling in different states, and accordingly based on the cleanliness, the ranking is given to the towns and the cities of India. And to your utter surprise, since the inception of this survey, it is the Indore city which is ranked number 1 for almost all the years under this survey, under this survection. So let's have the facts now, what exactly this survey is saying, and we'll try and understand that what all you should know from prelims perspective. So first thing, that this is a sarvekshan or survey. Sarvekshan is Hindi word for survey. Sarvekshan or survey of 2022 have been released, and this year's edition covered, obviously these things are not important to you, but you should know rough idea. You get that there are nearly 5,000 or 4,500 cities that are there in India, if not less than this number of cities are there, important cities and towns are there across India. Anyway, Swachh Sarvekshan is a list of India's cleanest cities released by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This is a very important fact, that it is an annual survey and released by this ministry. At least these two facts you should not forget about this. This initiative was started way back in 2016 to encourage urban sanitation. So that is what I said. The focus of this survey is on cleanliness, on the efforts that have been taken for maintaining the cleanliness and sanitation of the area. So it is the largest urban cleanliness and sanitation survey in the world. So this is using the extreme words, but it is a reality. Considering the size of the country, it is the reality that it is the largest urban cleanliness and sanitation survey in the world. So this one could be written in prelims examination again. The cities are assessed based on 3 parameters. So this cleanliness, this sanitation is measured on 3 parameters. Those 3 parameters are, one is service level progress. So basically the sanitation based services that are undertaken by the government, their progress is being observed, their progress is being measured. For example, the sanitation services such as collection of waste, processing of waste, and then disposal of waste, all those services are measured. Then second parameter is certification. There are certain certification protocols given by the ministry, the urban ministry. Those things are also being taken into assessment. And then third is the citizens' voice, the feedback from the local community. So this is how they are ensuring that local community is also uh, becoming the part of the survey. So these three parameters are there, very important. One is related to the service level progress, second is certification, and third is people's feedback or citizens' voice. So those things are important. Obviously, these parameters do not have equal weightage. The progress has greater weightage and other two have the equal weightage, although not that significant, but you should have some idea that the weightage, it is not that all three parameters have equal weightage. No. Then 2022 edition listed Indore. As I told you that Indore from 2016 has been the most cleanest city in the country. So it is the cleanest city with more than 1 lakh population. So there are different categories of the cities that they have created, cities and towns they have created. So the cities which have more than 1 lakh population, in that Indore is the cleanest city, marking 6th time. So this is 2022, so that is why it is the 6th time. And the city is said to be the city of lakes and palaces. Do remember about Indore that this is the city which is also referred to as the city of lakes and palaces. So second is Surat and third is Mumbai. So these are the three cleanest cities in India, when the category is the clean cities with population more than 1 lakh. As I said, there are many categories. So let's talk about other categories as well. So Indore becomes India's first 7-star garbage free city. So this is the tag that has been given to the city Indore, and then title of 5-star garbage free city was conferred to Surat, Bhopal, Mysuru, Vishakhapatnam, Navi Mumbai and Tirupati. So at least remember this, that 7-star, 5-star garbage free city tag is conferred to the cities based on the cleanliness. So this is another thing that you should know, that this is associated with Swachh Sarvekshan. If they write phrases like this and they say it is associated with which of the following, so it is associated with the cleanliness drive, the cleanliness survey, or call it Swachh Sarvekshan. Among cities with less than 1 lakh population, so this is another category with 1 lakh population. It is topped by Panchgani in Maharashtra, followed by Patan again in Chhattisgarh, and then another city. So these are not that important, but you should know that there are many such categories. The categorization of the cities and towns have been done based on population as well. There is other type of categorization as well. See, there are towns which lie along the bank of Ganga river. So when they are talking about Ganga river, and again all those towns which have population more than 1 lakh population, Haridwar is said to be the cleanest city, and then followed by Varanasi. Varanasi is the same city जिसको हम लोग क्योटो बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, अभी बन नहीं पाया, but again it is at least the second cleanest city when it comes to the towns that are found on the bank of Ganga and with population more than 1 lakh. Among Ganga towns with less than 1 lakh population, so again different categories, Bijnor is the city. So if at all you are not able to recall these things, at least you know that Bijnor is a city which is at the bank of Ganga. So you know that Varanasi is there, Rishikesh is there, Haridwar is obviously there. So at least you can now remember that these cities are at the bank of Ganga. So Ganga passes through these cities. You never know the permutation and combination possible in the prelims examination. So at least, if not the facts related to Sarvekshan, but at least these facts that Ganga passes through these important cities. And see, you cannot remember each and every city that through which the Ganga will pass, but at least the one that remains in news at least should be known. Apart from Tirupati, given Tirupati was given the best city award in Safai Mitra Suraksha. So as I said, there are different categories, and accordingly the tags have been given. Among these states, the state-wise, it is the Madhya Pradesh, which is said to be the top performer, the cleanest state in the country, followed by Chhattisgarh. So Chhattisgarh, if you know, was earlier part of Madhya Pradesh only. So Chhattisgarh got bifurcated from Madhya Pradesh in 2002, not 2002, 2000 itself. So I guess August 2000 it was when Chhattisgarh was separated from MP, and then Uttarakhand from UP and Jharkhand from Bihar. So the point I am trying to make here is MP and Chhattisgarh, which are invariably, more or less the same state or same geographical area, and they are the highest performer, the top performers in the states when it comes to cleanliness. Among these states having less than 100 urban local bodies, the list is topped by Tripura, again a northeastern state. If you know the northeastern states, Tripura is one state, Tripura and Mizoram, that shares border with Bangladesh, right? So you should know at least the states of northeast India. So just have a look for geography. Anyway, moving further. So now talking about the another news. So it is about making Ladakh waste free. See, Ladakh has been in news for a number of reasons, and as you know that there is an ongoing protest in Ladakh. A peaceful protest is going on, which unfortunately turned violent in September this year itself. So Ladakh is in news. So first thing, that Ladakh for me as a student of geography, first of all, its location, its physiography, its climatic zones, all those things should be known. The important rivers, the important wildlife, those are very important. But over here I am going to talk about this some project, some initiative by a social enterprise called Planet First. So it is a social and ecological enterprise, Planet First, and it is basically undertaking an initiative wherein they are trying to make Ladakh free from waste. How they are going to do that? So they will be the ones who are going to follow hub and spoke models. So basically through this hub and spoke model is basically this model. So at different places the collection centers would be created. These are the collection centers, and this model is called hub and spoke model. So through this hub and spoke model, they are going for collection of the waste, that is in Ladakh. It is a regional enterprise found in Ladakh only, but now they have developed a number of centers across North India. So they are trying to make Ladakh waste free. So these collection centers will collect the solid waste, and then it would be transported to the respective facility, wherein the processing, sorting and processing, and ultimately converting these waste into wealth. And this is how they are trying to convert basically a waste into wealth. So it is a classic example wherein the initiatives have been taken to promote this model as well, which is obviously one of the missions of Government of India. I'll talk about this later as well, waste into wealth model. It is a very important model, and these words should be used especially in the mains examination. But anyway, so this Planet First, which is a waste management social enterprise, decided to tackle the growing problem of waste in Ladakh. Planet First has set up a scrap buying and selling network, and basically the team was able to pull in Tomra. Tomra is European based company which is going to help them by providing innovative and technological solutions. Innovative and technological solutions would be provided to this Planet First, and basically there is no confirmation whether this Tomra is part of this initiative or not, but they are part in the sense that they are providing these technological solutions for processing, for sorting, and ultimately converting the waste into wealth. So technology support is coming from Tomra. So the investors of see that this is the technology that they are using, something called as reverse vending machine. So this reverse vending machine basically segregates the beverage bottles. There's a cold drink bottle and cans way. So beverage bottles are basically segregated using this reverse vending machine, and which is given to this Planet First by Tomra. So it is a Norwegian company, as I said, it is a European company. This unique and modern collection mechanism being followed all over the Europe for efficient waste recovery. So this company has expertise in waste recovery and converting it into the wealth, converting basically waste into wealth. Anyway, so this model involves setting up a deposit for consumers of all packaging materials. So basically those packaging materials are bought from the consumers, that act as a deposit center, and once the packaging material is returned, the deposit, so they are following another model basically. So this model is that once you buy something which has some packaging material, so for the packaging material whatever cost is, that cost has to be deposited, and that money is refundable. So once you return that package, you would be basically given back the deposit that you have given for that packaging material. So this is a good mechanism, in fact, will be returned to the consumers, and this system encourages source segregation and collection of scrap from all strata of society. So once you attach incentive, monetary incentive while collecting the waste, I think this is going to be a good move. Okay, moving further. So there is another similar news, waste to energy plant. So basically something has been done by Government of India. So it is in Delhi, Union Home and Cooperation Minister inaugurated, this is a place in southeast Delhi, inaugurated the Tehkhand waste to energy plant. So this waste to energy plant has been inaugurated by the minister. Obviously, as the name itself suggests, that it is also based on the model called waste to wealth model. So in the earlier news, if you look at, those were the private players which were playing significant role in waste management, and this is the role of the government. So at times in the mains question you write certain things, that the involvement of private stakeholders, government stakeholders, civil society organizations. So this is how you can fetch these points from these developments, and that is going to a beautiful value addition in the answer. Anyway, but these are important for the prelims as well, certain facts. So this plant has been established that will generate electricity from municipal corporation, from the waste of municipal corporation of Delhi. So this is how the waste that is collected by the municipal corporation of Delhi, that waste would be converted into energy. So this is a very good initiative of waste to wealth model. So let's talk a bit about this plant. In a bid to make the capital city garbage free, so target is making the capital city garbage free. The plant will help dispose of over 2,000 metric tons. So this is the capacity of this plant, 2,000 metric tons of garbage per day, and generate up to 25 megawatt of energy. So this is a great initiative. The waste to wealth mission, as I said, this is the one of the missions of Government of India, is one of the 9 scientific missions. So basically there is an advisory council of Prime Minister called Prime Minister's Science, Technology and Innovation Advisory Council, which has 9 missions. Among those 9 missions, one important mission is waste to wealth mission. So under that mission, all these developments are happening. So remember that it could be written that this plant has been created under this mission and about this council. It aims to identify, develop, deploy technologies. The technology of converting this waste into energy has to come from somewhere, and this is this council that is providing that is developing, deploying those technologies for treating waste to generate energy, recycle material and extract resources to value. Okay. So this is related to the same news that we talked about, waste to energy plant. Over here, basically it is related to the pollution level that has been increasing in Delhi. If you know, very recently during Diwali times, not only Diwali times, every winter Delhi experiences poor to very poor category of pollution level. So in fact, even today when I am recording this session, even today also the situation is, the category of pollution level in Delhi is right now very poor category. So very poor category means that the AQI level is between 300 to 400, which is very high. So anyway, recently, so an anti-smoke guns. So basically these anti-smoke guns, smog guns are the guns that are used for spraying atomized means minute particles of water into the atmosphere to reduce the pollution level in Delhi. So these efforts are being undertaken in order to minimize the pollution level in Delhi. But again, most of the efforts that have been taken till now are not proving to be adequate, are not proving to be sufficient enough that they could deal with the worsening situation of pollution level in Delhi. So at least read one thing, this AQI is very important. It includes 8 pollutants, since we are talking about Delhi's pollution. So AQI is basically the measurement of air quality. AQI is air quality index. So how do they measure this air quality? This air quality is being measured by measurement of concentration levels of air pollutants. And what are those air pollutants? They are 8 in number. So basically 8 air pollutants are taken into consideration for assessing the air quality of an area. So those air pollutants are carbon monoxide. First is carbon monoxide, then oxides of sulfur, primarily sulfur dioxide, then oxides of nitrogen, primarily nitrogen dioxide, then PM 2.5, then PM 10, then ozone is there, then lead is there, and last is ammonia. So these 8 air pollutants are taken into consideration while measuring the concentration level of these pollutants. These are the 8 pollutants that AQI talks about. So this itself is a question, that how many pollutants are there, or which of the following are included under AQI. Okay, so just remember these things. These are very important facts, and considering Delhi's pollution level, not only Delhi, it is almost every important city of India is experiencing very high level of pollution. Okay, so and you should also know that this is maintained by CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board. Central Pollution Control Board, if you know, has been created under Water Pollution and Control Act 1974. So it derives the powers from primarily from this, but it also derives power from Air Act, Environment Act that were enacted in 1980s. Anyway, so these are the important facts. Just write them up in your notes copy. Moving further. So this is another news, International E-Waste Day. First of all, when is this International E-Waste Day? That is one question. So it is October 14. So October 14, it is celebrated as International E-Waste Day every year as an opportunity to reflect on the impacts of. So we know that the impacts, the negative impacts of the e-waste generation, and in this digital world wherein the phones are being used, the electronic items are being used at a very rapid rate. So this generation of e-waste is becoming a prominent problem. So that is why such initiatives have been taken to create awareness, to run campaigns, and to minimize obviously the impacts of these e-waste. The slogan is recovery, recycle it all, and no matter how small. So just read it once, just write it once. You need not to, cram it up, but at least it should be written once, so that once you see in the examination hall such things, you can recall from the subconscious mind. This has been started by Waste Electrical and Electronics Equipment Forum. It is an international forum. So it is an international forum basically of the organizations which are involved in taking a waste responsibility. The focus of this year international was hoarding of small unused, dead or broken plugins and battery operated products. So all these products have e-waste, electronic waste. So this year they were targeting mainly for the broken, dead or unused plugins and the battery operated products. So what does this say further? This news has some other important facts for you. It is basically based on the survey report, which says that out of every 6 electronic products, in an average European household is hoarded. आप देखते हो इंडिया में भी people have tendency of keeping in fact the unused, the broken ones, the dead plugins, sockets or any kind of electronic items. लोग अपना मोबाइल उसको पहले मोबाइल को ज़िंदगी भर के लिए रखे हुए हैं. तो basically people resort to hoarding, and ये केवल इंडिया का ट्रेट नहीं है, ये यूरोपियंस आर डूइंग द सेम थिंग. तो बट अगेन दैट इज़ नॉट अ गुड हैबिट, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली इफ इट इज़ ऑफ नो यूज it should be discarded, and so that it could be converted into some kind of resource that could be useful. Again, remember that waste to wealth model. These waste have certain parts which are still useful, which could be reused, which could be recycled. Anyway, so roughly 5.3 billion mobiles and smartphones will drop out of use this year. You see, nearly 5 billion. Total population of the world is around 8 billion, and nearly 5 billions of mobile phones and smartphones will be discarded in the year 2022. So that is a huge number. So considering the level of generation of the e-waste, these initiatives or more initiatives should be taken. The electronics would reach a height of around 50,000 kilometers if stacked at flat on the top of each other, 50,000 kilometers if you keep them flat. So this is the gravity of this problem. The problem is e-waste generation. Anyway, mobile phones, smartphones have valuable gold, copper, silver, palladium and other recyclable components. So that is what I said, they have certain components, certain parts which could be reused, which could be recycled. This forum, as I said, it is an international forum, association of some 46 waste producer responsibility organizations. Okay. This is another news, a very important, although not very big organization is involved here, but yes, it is a very important development. So turn seaweed is basically algae, it is the marine algae, it is the oceanic algae, seaweed. So macroscopic algae plants are there in the oceans, they are called seaweeds. So turn seaweed into 100% dissolvable, low cost packaging materials. So again, don't you think it is going to be a replacement, it is going to be an alternative for the plastics that we use. So basically it has been done by a lady called Neha Jain, who used to work at Google, not important at all. In fact, in the name is also not important, but she started Zero Circle, which is a startup, and that converts this seaweed into something which could be used as an alternative to plastic, an alternative to other harmful, dangerous packaging materials. So basically she has developed eco-friendly plastic alternative packaging material. So that is what she has done, and this is her startup. So seaweed is considered to be a potential resource for making bioplastics. So it is basically preparing bioplastics because it comes with a low water footprint and land footprint. So seaweed is abundant in the wetland areas, in the marine ecosystem, in the oceanic ecosystem. So since it is in abundance, in fact, if you have heard of something called as algal blooming, so those are rather nothing but the indicator of water pollution. So they are having lesser water footprint as well as land footprint. So using seaweed will not cause much of the ecological problems. So Zero Circle uses largely red, brown and green seaweed, which amounts to about, not that important. You should know that this plastic material has been prepared from seaweed, which is an algae, which is a marine algae. After collecting the seaweed, it is dried up, turned into powder and then ultimately translated into some final material which is used for packaging items. So most Indian villages do not have any waste management infrastructure. A study released by an NGO called Pratham Education Foundation. So this is saying that the waste management in India, especially in the village areas, is very poor. And this is not what I am saying, this is said by an NGO. It is an important NGO. Let me tell you that this NGO also releases report related to educational quality at the school level. If you have heard of something called as ASER report, ASER report. So just read about it, this is a very important one. Public waste bins were observed only 36% of the 700 villages across 15 states that were taken into the survey. 29% had a community waste collection vehicle. So it means that the situation is very poor. The collection mechanism, the processing mechanism for waste management is getting reflected poorly through this survey, and it is the reality as well. In fact, the reality is much worse. Then urban waste water scenario in India. So basically waste water, especially in the urban areas, is again a bigger problem. On an average daily basis, we have been knowingly or unknowingly have been generating huge amount of wastewater that has to be recycled, that has to be managed by development of well developed network of sewerage system. So let's see what exactly India has been doing with the help of some developed countries, or say some countries which have better experience of managing urban wastewater, and the country over here is Denmark. So India and Denmark have launched a white paper which aims to holistically capture the current status of wastewater treatment in India. So that is what I said, once you release the wastewater, it has to be treated, and in order to treat that, before this wastewater reaches to the treatment plant, there has to be a well developed network of sewerage system. So with the help of Denmark, India is trying to figure out how exactly the status and what should be done, and potential pathways for future treatment, structures, co-creation and collaborations. Anyway, it comes under Green Strategic Partnership. So this is a partnership that both these countries are part of, and it is aimed at active collaboration between these two countries on green hydrogen, renewable energy and wastewater management. So as part of this Green Strategic Partnership, first of all you should know Green Strategic Partnership is between these two, and then as part of that different efforts have been taken in order to meet the sustainable development goals. Then Atal Innovation Mission, ICDK is Innovative Center of Denmark Water Innovation Challenge in India was implemented under it. So basically this is how they are trying to deal with the problem of wastewater management in India. Okay. So what steps have been taken by government? So there is an integrated ministry, there is a very dedicated ministry called Ministry of Jal Shakti, which was created in 2019, and government have committed investments of more than 140 billion by 2024. Huge investment has been done in the water sector to deal with the problem of wastewater management, as well as develop a holistic network of sewerage, so that each and every house in the urban areas is well connected with the ultimately the treatment plant, so that the wastewater could be treated. At least 10% of the funds are contributed by the community in every program, ensuring community. So basically it is not just that fund is only coming from the government, the communities are also contributing for the management of the wastewater by providing them funds. So this one is related to over here we will try and understand about NGT, National Green Tribunal. So basically NGT fines West Bengal for waste management failure. So West Bengal government is under the lens of NGT, and they have been charged some fine, monetary compensation of 3,500 crores on the government of West Bengal for failing to manage solid and liquid waste. So basically the government has allocated certain funds for this job and they were not well utilized, and that is why NGT has put a fine over them. So budget of financial year 22-23, the West Bengal government had made a provision to spend some 12,000, close to 13,000 crore on matters related to these, the urban development and municipalities, but the state government did not do any special work in this direction. So for that they have been charged with that. environmental compensation. According to the NGT, urban areas of West Bengal generate, not important, million sewage, while the treatment capacity is 44. So basically these, not only West Bengal, almost every state, not almost, every state of India is working under capacity. Under capacity means जितना waste generate हो रहा है, whatever amount of waste they are generating, they are not getting treated. Not all the waste is getting treated. So it is a classic example. The West Bengal government will have to deposit 3,500